Do you recall referring to me as man or dude during the last or second to last telephonic hearing?
I don't, but I do apologize.
Your Honor, I'm not sure this is appropriate questioning under the circumstances.
2202 CM 324 and 2210 CM 1696. I'll show Ryan T. Watson appears by WebEx from the jail. I'll show his counsel, Ms. Kaiseros, appears by WebEx for the defense. And we've got Mr. Swaby appearing by WebEx for the state. It was just brought to my attention as I was walking out to the bench that there was a motion that was filed to transfer this case. I have not had the opportunity to review that. So as we sit here today, my inclination would be to take that under advisement, to be able to review that in chambers and make a decision on it. However, Ms. Kaiseros, I'm not sure if there's any other business that your client would like to conduct before the court today.
No, Your Honor, today.
And then may I ask, Mr. Swaby, what is the state's position on the verified motion for change of judge that was filed, looks like last night at 7:25 p.m.?
The state's, I guess, response now would ask the court to, at this point to deny it. I'm just now learning of that. I did not know it was filed. Last I knew, I thought there was going to be a resolution entered today, but I see that's not happening. So yeah, that would be the state's request at this point in time.
Okay, that the petition be denied?
Yes, since the state has not had a chance to review.
Okay, all right. Well, let me just gather some information from Mr. Watson that I wasn't able to gather the last time we were together. So, Mr. Watson, if you'd please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yeah.
Okay, you may put your hand down. What is your full legal name?
Ryan Thomas Watson.
Okay, Mr. Watson, is your date of birth December 6th of 1993?
Yeah.
Okay, and what is your best residential or mailing address? Okay. Now, sir, when you were before me a couple of hearings ago, or I guess you weren't before me, you had called in for it, you were attempting to qualify for a public defender, and you had mentioned that you worked some odd jobs since last fall. When I asked how much money you made from those odd jobs, your answer was enough. And then I had asked you some questions about where you were employed before you started those odd jobs, and I believe you said Keystone RV, but it might have been a different RV company. And I asked you what your hourly rate of pay was at either Keystone or the other, and you also said enough. And I had indicated to you at that time I wasn't certain that you would then qualify for a public defender's office, and I appointed the public defender's office to represent you with the understanding that they would then be able to conduct a more detailed investigation given your evasive answers and your delay tactics when we were on the phone together last time. So as we sit here today, sir, are you currently employed?
Not today.
Okay. When were you last employed?
A week or two ago.
And where were you working a week or two ago?
With my uncle doing some decking.
Okay. And for how long had you been doing some decking with your uncle?
A couple times a week since I was released.
Okay. And how much money do you earn on average in a given week?
A couple $100 a day.
A day. So a couple $100 a day. How many days a week were you working?
Maybe 2 or 3.
Okay, so that'd be $400 to $600 a week. Sir, did you pay taxes on that money?
No.
Okay. And had you been doing that since the fall of 2022?
No. But around February.
Okay. What did you do for employment from October of 22 until February of this year?
I was in jail.
From October until February you were?
Roughly, yeah.
Was that up in Michigan or elsewhere?
Both, here in Michigan.
Okay. And prior to when you were incarcerated in the fall of last year, were you working at Keystone RV?
Yeah.
What was your hourly rate of pay there?
There wasn't no set hourly rate. I don't know, 30 hours a week? Like 1,500.
Okay. And was that 1,500 gross per week on average?
Yeah.
Okay. And as we sit here today, since it's been at least a few days, if not a couple of weeks since you've been employed, do you have a sum of money greater than $500, either in cash or in the bank, to pay a private attorney?
Not with me, no.
Okay. Do you have any friends or family members who could loan you money so that you could hire private counsel?
Possibly. I would have to discuss it with them.
Okay. For today, are you wanting to have the public defender's office remain appointed for you?
Yes.
Okay. Then I will follow up on the previous, I guess, conditional appointment of the public defender's office and say that Mr. Watson qualifies for a public defender in both of these cases. The next thing I do want to address, because I just briefly perused the motion that was filed, and it makes reference to me calling you, at a minimum, dude. Do you recall referring to me as man or dude during the last or second to last telephonic hearing?
I don't, but I do
Your
apologize.
Honor, I'm not sure this is appropriate questioning under the circumstances.
Okay, I note your objection. I'm still going to ask. Do you recall
And
calling me?
Mr. Watson, I'd like to remind you, you don't have to answer.
Okay, is this going to incriminate him if I ask him what he called me? Is it, Ms. Caceres?
Your Honor, I'm not sure this is appropriate questioning right now.
Okay, I want to understand, because there's a record here that I was inappropriate and I couldn't be fair and impartial to a defendant who delayed my proceedings for an extended period of time. And as I consider the motion for change of judge, I need to have some information before me. So if you want me to make the decision based on what I recall only, I'll do that, Ms. Caceres. But
No, that's why in the motion I included the entire record from the conversation. So I think the record would need to be referred to specifically with quotations of exactly what was said, rather than his memory from a situation that happened previously under duress and stress.
what I would like to know his intent. The words are one thing, but what he was intending to do or what he was aware of doing is a different question. So I will ask a few more questions, Ms. Caceres. You can continue to object. But I just want to know, Mr. Watson, do you believe that you delayed the proceedings 2 hearings ago when we were together that time and you were on the phone?
I couldn't tell you.
Okay. I will share with you that there were at least 2 attorneys in court after we were done with your hearing that indicated to me that what you did was beyond the pale or beyond what was within reason. And that would be, just for the record, both a Mr. John Hosinski and a Mr. Vince Campidi. I believe that Ms. Kayla Cristofino also waited an extended period of time for a simple withdrawal. So I just wanted to note that for the record. I won't ask any further questions, Ms. Caceres. I'll simply take this matter under advisement, and I'll remand Mr. Watson to the custody of the Elkhart County Sheriff pending my decision on the transfer, also noting the state's objection to the transfer. And I won't set a further hearing if I decide not to transfer. I will set one. If I decide to transfer, I'll leave it to the transferring court to set a hearing.
Thank you.
All right. It looks like we've got an April 10th hearing on the calendar for a hearing on violation. So that is 20 days away. I'll leave those 2 hearings in place. Again, I'll likely make my decision before that. So we'll either keep them if they're in my court or vacate them if it's transferred out elsewhere. Mr. Swaby, anything else for the record for this case?
Fair.
Okay, Ms. Caceres, anything else for the record?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Watson, any questions for me?
None.
Okay, we'll remand you to custody of the sheriff pending next hearing or my decision, and that'll conclude Mr. Watson's hearings. Mr. Webb, are you before me?
Yes, Your Honor.